Hi, this is Dan, and we are talking about estimating, and now we're going to talk a little bit about job costing. We're looking at a project page right now. When you've got the master or when you've got an estimate, it looks a little different than the project page because when it's become a project, there's things you can do that you can't do on an estimate and you don't need to do on the master, and that includes create purchase orders, job costing, projected job costing, change orders, delay claims. All of these happen when it becomes a project. So we are going to look at job costing. I'm going to click on the job costing page. Now I just entered one line of information, so there's only one item on this list, but it fills in all of the information for job costing. What I filled in was an item of concrete. Let's start at the top of the page. At the top of the page, there's the two green arrows. This one always leads back to the home page, and this one always leads forward to the next logical page in the list. Underneath that, there's a show actuals from QuickBooks. We're going to be talking a lot about this connection with QuickBooks. When you connect with QuickBooks and QuickBooks gives this page information about the actual prices, then automatically the actual columns will appear, but you can make them appear just simply by pressing this show or hide actuals buttons, and then the dark blue columns are the actual numbers. So this is the estimating of labor dollars, this is the actual labor dollars, this is the estimating of material dollars, this is the actual material dollars, and so on. I can hide them again by clicking that button. I can create a PDF of my job costing page. This would be for my records or to give to my bookkeeper. QuickBooks Functions, we're going to talk a lot about QuickBooks Functions in a few minutes here, but for now I want to go on to these two red buttons. Show divisions used. Right now you can see all of the divisions from page verification. You may not want to. You may only want to see the divisions that are actually used. So I can click on that and it will only show me the divisions that are used. And now I can click it again and I can go back to looking at all divisions. Show items. Right now we're looking at the category 300, concrete, and the cost of that. But in fact, if I click on the word concrete, I will see that this is actually formwork 4 foot to 8 foot grade beam walls. So if I've got this list of all the materials I use for a job, it's just going to show the headings. If I want to see the specific items it's referring to, I can click on show items and it will show that item. I can click on hide items and it will hide that item. So this is an overview of what your job costing opening numbers are that you will give to your bookkeeper, and your bookkeeper will begin job costing. There are soft costs involved in this and warranty, and when your bookkeeper has set up your books correctly, there will be items under cost of goods for every one of these things here, and she will enter each one of these. She'll create an estimate in QuickBooks, and she will enter the opening numbers in QuickBooks for every one of these, or whatever accounting program she uses. But we have an automatic way of doing all of this. If I click on QuickBooks Functions, I get a bunch of different functions. Sync with QuickBooks and QuickBooks settings I'm going to talk about in a few minutes, but for right now I'm going to jump down to create a QuickBooks import file. If you can't sync with QuickBooks for whatever reason, you can create a QuickBooks import file. And this is a file that you can give to your bookkeeper, and she can upload it into QuickBooks and it will automatically enter the job cost opening numbers. When I create QuickBooks import file, it says the export file, because now it's been exported, so it's an export file, is named 1524.iff. The folder where it is stored will now open, and there it is. So you can take this file, give it to your bookkeeper, she can import it into QuickBooks, and it will automatically enter her job cost numbers. This next button says generate an items list for QuickBooks. If you want to sync what items are in the cost of goods account in QuickBooks with the items that are in Isaac, then you can create this list, and it will be created in as a Excel file. Your bookkeeper can take that Excel file and import it directly into QuickBooks, or just use it to match the items under cost of goods in her chart of accounts, so that the two Isaac and QuickBooks are the same. There's also a compare Isaac list to QuickBooks items list. And how you use that one is you can export your items list from QuickBooks, import it into Isaac, and Isaac will compare the items list from QuickBooks with the items list from job costing opening numbers and point out any differences that exist between the two. Now, I'm going to talk about the top two buttons. You can actually connect Isaac directly with QuickBooks. You do that by clicking QuickBooks Settings. And when you click QuickBooks Settings, you get this message, and this message first tells you you have to know the path to Isaac, and so it will tell you the path to Isaac. The next thing it says is basically there's a complete set of instructions for how to connect with QuickBooks. So if you click on that button, you will get a complete, thorough set of instructions for how to make that connection happen. And what it says is you have to close this program and reopen it in administration mode. And it tells you how to do that. And you have to open QuickBooks in administration mode, and it tells you how to do that. And then you can link the two. I can't do it here for you right now because I don't have QuickBooks on this computer, but it explains all of that. Once you've got the settings section filled out, from that point on, all you have to do when you are working on a job is go to QuickBooks Functions, sync with QuickBooks. If I click that now, it will give me a message saying I don't have a connection with QuickBooks because I don't. So I can't click it, but once your connection with QuickBooks is set up, every time you click on Sync with QuickBooks, it does two things. Number one, it sends all the information from Isaac to QuickBooks. If there's no estimate created for this project, it will create the estimate, fill in the values, and begin the job costing process in QuickBooks. Number two, if you've already done that and you're entering in QuickBooks your job costing information, it will take that information and bring it to Isaac. And that's very useful. We call this job costing on demand. And the value of it is you as a project manager or a company owner do not have to be a QuickBooks expert to do job costing or see your job costing. Your bookkeeper keeps up QuickBooks. All you do is sync with QuickBooks and you get all your information right here displayed in Isaac. So it's much easier to work with, much easier to understand. And you can understand at a glance how your job costing is working. So that's job costing. We're going back to the home page. Thank you very much, and we will now move on to the next video.